And so we're building up to the 2027 general elections, which is less than 2 years away. And of course, we've already seen the backstabbing, the movement from one place to another. We have also started seeing, some permutations. Some persons aligning, realigning, and the drama only just begun. A sitting governor of a state of Delta is changing shift. And you would have thought that maybe the governor of Rivers State, the suspended governor of Rivers State, would have been the first to move because of his standing with the way things are. But it does look like Delta said he wants to do it first. But again, we'll just find out maybe a specific reason why. We'll just try to muster a few of them because we have Mazi Sam Ngene. He would help us build up to this particular discourse. Good to have you. Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
When you heard that news, what came to your mind first? I mean, when you are defecting, you're defecting because maybe you feel that you are not good enough, you want to use the federal might, or maybe you have an EFCC pending case you want to go under, and then maybe hopefully you are covered by the ruling party. But again, you are a sitting governor. There's nothing to be scared of. This particular state has been PDP state all these years. What is going on? What came to your mind the first time you heard about this defection?
Well, thank you for having me this morning. I personally feel that, when you look at politics, it's all about interests. And as a sitting governor, just like you mentioned, there might be interests he's trying to protect. Yeah, and there could be also several factors and reasons why people move from one party to the other. Let me just bring it down to context politically. A political party, what is a political party? Is like a vehicle that drives you to the destination of power where you want to be or where you are aspiring to be. And most times what you see there is interest.
So when you say protected of interest, what interest?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm driving at.
Okay.
Now you know, because of the way our political terrain is, you made mention of EFCC right now. It could be a factor. Not on him, but you know that the former governor who also defected with it had some challenges in that line. And I can tell you for sure that even though I'm not being very I don't want to let me not use the word for sure, but let me just say that it has to do with interest. Our political parties and our politicians have not started dealing with ideology of a political party. Just like what we have in the Western world. America is for instance, where we draw our political democracy from. But you find out that what happens in our case as Nigeria is that everybody tries to, once it will favor you, whatever thing you want to do, as long as you are protected first, you see the person making such move. Take for instance, a lot of people came into power through Labour Party. Why are they defecting? They are defecting because they are feeling that that party is no longer there. The kind of leverage, the kind of push, the kind of protection, or the kind of force, let me use the force, that pushed them and made them win elections is no longer, or could no longer be found in that party. Coupled with some skirmishes or issues that the party is having, the challenges they are having. So, coming to the Delta State, a sitting governor, yes, and so one would say, why does he want to, or why would he even move? Interest.
So you feel that just the interest of his predecessor is what would move him to move from one political party to another, even if it is
not just the interest of the predecessor, his own interest also.
How?
Okay. when you look at the political scenario, every politician, I said it before, wants a place or a political party or where he have his way to the top. APC, sorry, I'm showing them, is the ruling party. And in our context, in our belief, we always have this belief that the party in power at the central space will always have their way, either through whatever means, but at the end of the day, you find yourself in power. This governor would have looked at the scenario, being factual that he's in good terms with his predecessor, and he's having that chase from the Economic and Financial Crimes Control. He could add to his own interest of his second-term bid. So that could have brought about that move and that shift. That shift is not just him. He shifted with the whole persons.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Right. So let's put it this way. This interest is more like the elite's interest. Do you think the people of Delta who gave him that mandate are with him on this move?
Who else? Who are the people that gave him that mandate that are not with him, if you look at it from the way it is?
No, who vote.
Of course, voters. Let me tell you how this thing goes. Voters, if I'm vying for a state assembly position, and some other people are, of course, like, let me use Enugu State as a case study. 24 members, 24 constituencies. And if the 24 members of the state assembly is moving with the governor to another party, for instance, what it means is that he has the support of the people, because those are representatives of the people. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, no. You feel that way, but they were also voted by some people, isn't it? And the governor was voted by some people also. So what politics is all about is all about number. Everybody must not be in the same page, but so long as you have the majority of the people moving, majority of the people being on the same page, that is politics, that is power.
The state has never voted for APC. Never at this.
At
the global level.
You mean
Delta? Yes.
That's what I'm saying. You asked the question. You said, "What do I think? Do I think the people of Delta are with them in that?" And I'm telling you, when you vote somebody to represent you, what it means is you have given that person the mandate to speak for you.
Yes.
That's what it means.
But if in the middle of the park, you now begin to do things in your own interest, personal interest, or maybe few persons' interest, then you lose the trust of the people who gave you the mandate.
We've not heard from the people to know whether he has lost they've lost the trust of the people. I'm being honest with you.
You don't think that the people will be silent?
I don't think so, because their representatives would have spoken with them. Constituencies are there. Local government, you don't understand the volume of that shift. Council chairmen, House of Assembly members, House of Rep members, political appointees making that shift at once. Oh my God. It's very obvious and clear.
There are less than 1% of the voters in Delta State.
That's where you have failed to understand me. Yes, they are. But the people that voted them in, I'm not trying to speak for them. I'm not trying to take position for them. But I am trying to say that the people that actually voted for them could have explained. I'm not there. You are not there. You understand? But they would have had this constituency interface, where they've made that explanation on why they listen to their excuse that they, after making robust consultation.
That's what they would always say.
That's it.
That's what they would say. Not that they did it.
You don't know. You cannot tell. You cannot tell. It's only when the people begins to react, and the only way they will react is by 2027, when we see the way they vote, or the way they decide to come on voting, the way they vote actually.
You see, when people defect to political parties, you feel maybe because the party is doing well I mean, you mentioned that the Delta State governor may have defected to the APC because they're looking to align with the federal.
Yeah.
But again, where does the people come in this alignment with the federal? Because it does look like this thing is just interest of a few persons. This defection is more like meeting the interest of a few persons. In Delta State, we have the level of poverty so high, unemployment so high, foodstuff are above the rooftop, and then instead of you to find a way to detach yourself from a party that has brought you this bad, you are defecting to it, trying to support it to continue in doing what? Continue making them suffer further.
Okay, it brings me back to what I said earlier about the ideology of political parties. If you look at Nigerian political parties, I don't think there's anyone that I can say for sure have a pronounced ideology. You know, if you come to a party like the Republicans now, you can say that they are conservatives. They don't want to spend money anyhow. They don't want to do a lot of things anyhow. You talk about Democrats, they are more liberal. You know, when you talk about LGBTQ plus, the way they support it and the way they move with it. This is what we know. And when people are joining these political parties, I just use that as an instance. When people are they already know that this is the ideology of this party. It's not like that here. What you have here is regional ideology, sectional ideology, interests. That's what you have in this country. And that's why it's always easy for people to defect. You see somebody who just, okay, ask yourself, why would somebody who won an election under Labour Party leave that party to APC or to PDP or whatever party, when actually people voted for you on that platform? Are you not supposed to be in line with the people and do what they want, and they will still vote you in, and they will still vote for you the next time? But it's not like that here. Everybody feels that this sense of the center has it all is just what we are facing here. And that's why you see some of these governors and past governors taking that shift, making that sharp move into the ruling party, just to either to protect themselves from the watchdog, as it said, or to make sure that their interest in 2027 is protected, either for second term bid or for whatever reason. But the underlying factor, interest instead of ideology.
See, this is all politics is actually local.
Yes.
But again, local in terms of each state have its own dynamism, and it differs from every other state. You can't, the same thing, some things that play out in Enugu is not the same thing that play out in Delta.
That's
what's
true.
Playing out in Edo, we're not just what's playing out in Rivers. So if politics is local, why do people feel the need to defect to a party and link to the federal?
Beautiful. That's it. That is exactly the question here. People do it because there is. Look, you made mention of Delta. I have not actually finished with that, but you see a situation where people feel we're hungry, give them little incentive. They don't even want to know that this party is planning, or the ideology of this party is to make things better, to put a good economic balance so that things will turn out good for them, to give them basic amenities and infrastructure for them to now thrive in whatever the business they are doing. All they're after, all some people are after, a lot more times, especially in this country, is the short-term gains. And that's what has put us where we are now. You said something about data, that why did I feel that the people are with them? Of course, look at what happened look at some of the things that happened. I don't want to mention name, but take for the Senate, for instance, the situation we had about the Senate president and whoever, the woman in there, I don't want to mention name for any reason. You find out that what is playing out there is a practical Nigerian political system. Even when you see the wrong thing being done, but because of 1 or 2 10 kobo, 20 kobo that is given to someone, you see that person killing himself, telling you that this thing is proper, that this is better this way. Even when you right inside the person's mind, he knows that action is not a good one and that it won't take us to anywhere. But you see people fall into it because they want pennies, they want few change in their pockets. So if you take it from that place, if you find out that that's why our political parties are suffering the way we are, the kind of that's why our parties are suffering the way we are suffering. You know. So I want to seriously let you know that part of the reason why we in fact that's it.
So I understand you contested the elections last elections 2023, and you lost, and you went to the tribunal. And can you explain to us what happened, and in relation to what's going on?
Well, I contested that election, and it actually ended the way it ended because of the wave, P2B's wave. And normally, every reasonable person, a good politician, will want to follow it up to the last, which I did. And I went to tribunal, and by the time tribunal looked at my matter, they saw that it has merits, and they granted my plea, and the election was nullified. You know, and INEC tried to conduct the run for 2 times now, but it's not been successful. Either for whatever reason, one problem or the other might just crop up, and then it turns inconclusive again. So that is exactly what has happened about that, except there are other things you want to know about it, and I can let you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, the other issues that came up as relates to the other person in Labour Party. You know, the move at the time looks like it was orchestrated, you know, to put him in prison.
Young man, I don't think that's what it is.
Okay. So
what really happened is that I ran an election, and the young man also contested the election. And
that's right.
Yeah, I think he had an impending case, criminal case in the court, in the magistrate court, between himself and these people. Not even, it doesn't have anything to do with me. It doesn't have anything to do with the government of Enugu State. It's just a judicial matter that was pending. And as a matter of fact, after the election, yes, he won. He was declared winner. Not because he won, because there are other polling units, including my own polling unit, that had issues, which was what I tendered to the tribunal, and they found merit in it, and then the election was nullified. So, and the criminal matter, you know, it doesn't abate easily. It continues, and it continued, and I was made to understand that matter was there since 2017, and that was it.
But what's the status of that particular issue now? What is the status? So you said INEC has tried to conduct a fresh election, and they haven't been able to. What is stopping them? Why don't we have somebody representing that particular constituency?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know the status. I don't know. What do you mean by the status?
Like, where are we now in that matter?
Where we are is that I am waiting. I am waiting for INEC to conduct the election. is not in me. I wouldn't go to push further than I have pushed. It's now the onus now lies on INEC to say yes, it's time for us to conduct this election, and I'll give myself to the people to vote, because the number of the votes, the margin with which he had the lead, could be struck out by the number of votes that people that didn't vote, the people that were disenfranchised.
That's units.
Polling units, yeah.
Polling units that you are contesting.
Yes, it's 8 polling units in my own ward, and the number of those polling units outweighs the number with the figure with which he won the election, with which he claimed won the election. So that's the basic thing. And when the matter went to court, court looked at it and then granted me that a plea, which is to have a rerun, which has never taken place, because each time we come up with it, there might be something that will come up as a hindrance, So that's it.
But there are people who have this mindset that it was all these things are planned to put him away in order for him not to contest that particular election.
Well, it's left for the people that have that mindset. Anybody is entitled to his opinion. You understand? But as far as I am concerned, I was following my thing legally. I should. I don't think I've made a mistake by going to the tribunal, because if he was on the other side, he would have also done so. So I take it that I'm only doing the right thing. So however anybody feels about it, well, it's fine.
Do you feel bad about the situation of him being in jail?
I don't understand. Anybody, if you commit an offense that makes you go to jail, I mean, you went to that matter was actually decided by a court, and this court has jurisdiction over that matter. And there was a long time for that case to be decided, over 7 years before it was decided, even before he thought of contesting the election. So how I feel is immaterial. The fact is that the law is there to take course on anybody that does anything that is contrary to the law. Even if I feel bad, I can change it. If I feel good, I can change it. It's a law, and law is law.
Now there's a vacuum that is left. Nobody is representing that constituency. How do you feel about nobody representing that constituency? It feels, I mean, we're heading to another election, and that has not been concluded. How do you feel about it?
I don't feel good, and my constituents don't feel good too. But it's not all about how you feel. It's all about the structure. It's all about the umpire. Are they ready to conduct the election? If they are ready, I'm ready. It's not something you go and begin to fight or begin to call people to make noise about. No, it's something that you push it the normal way you're supposed to push it, by making correspondences to INEC. And of course, it's not even that what you're saying now is new to them. They already know, they are aware that that place is vacant. And I believe that it's not only that's not the only place that is vacant. I hope you know. There are other places where people died. There are other constituencies, either in federal or state, where something would have happened and somebody is no more. I believe that INEC at the appointed time will chronicle those constituencies and those pockets of elections, and it will be done once. And once it is done, we are available. We are very much ready for it.
I'm just really stuck. I mean, I'm just wondering what's going on with that particular matter. It's unfortunate. So, what's your plan as regards that? Like, you're going to, if it happens that it stays this way until 2027, are you going to stick with your party, the PDP? Are you moving to another party?
Why not? I'm with my party. There's no movement.
There are rumors that the governor is looking to move to the
That's rumors.
But you have the rumors.
That's rumors.
But you have heard the rumors.
Well, I've not heard it.
Oh, you heard it for the first time.
Heard the rumors.
You heard the first time.
Oh yeah. But
Really?
but when you say it, when you say it's rumor, I don't build my political sense on rumors. No.
But do you see the possibility of the governor moving to the APC?
Anything is possible in politics, especially in our Nigerian context.
Would you move with him if he does?
Sorry?
Would you move with him if he does?
Why not? Why not? That's the person I'm looking up to. Politically, I will. Because I love what he's doing. He's doing well as a governor. Not because he's just Peter, no. But because you can attest to the fact that Enugu has taken a different shape. So, if I see a man who is ready to give his best to make the state economically viable and politically quiet, like it is in Enugu now, why not? Why wouldn't I move with him?
I mean,
Of course, he's a member of my party.
Right.
And I'm proud of him. And he's doing well. And he wants to go to another party. Don't you know that people influences people in politics? It happens.
what would basically influence him to go into?
No, I say people influence. I'm talking about myself. You asked about myself.
Yes.
Yeah. If he's moving to another party, other party ABC, I might take that decision to go with him. Why? Because I see what he's doing and he's doing well.
What would attract somebody like him, who has gathered a lot of goodwill, to move to APC?
Has he told you that?
No, I'm just saying.
No, he hasn't.
You're saying that you are going to move.
No. You asked the question. If he's moving to Amba, will I go? And I'm telling you, yes, I can go into any party. But if you're talking about him, he hasn't said that. People speculate. It's part of politics. There are speculations. People try to say, I don't know how to put it, but you see a situation where people try to put words into your mouth as a leader. What you do, what I do in this scenario, in this kind of issue, is to make sure that I concentrate. I make sure that I listen to the leader until I hear from him. Yes, I don't just join the bandwagon or people that sit in the beer parlor and begin to analyze what they don't know. Because a lot more times you find out that those people don't have information. So if the governor actually decides to go to another party, then I'll take my own decision. And if you ask my decision, like you ask me, I'll tell you I'll go with him. And you ask me why, I'll tell you because he's doing well.
Well, if he's doing well, if all politics are local, he shouldn't be moving to another party that is seemingly unpopular. Because the APC at the federal level has been unpopular since it took power.
Oh yeah, but he hasn't said that.
But would you advise him if you were to?
Until he calls me for advice.
But would you advise him to move?
I said until he calls me for advice. That's true. If he calls me for advice, of course I know what to tell him. And I wouldn't come here to say it before I tell him. The advice should go to him first before I now come to the air to say what I feel about it.
All right, so moving forward into 2027, I mean, we've talked about the defections because we are expecting more to happen, more shocking ones to happen. Do you see any coalition happening that would give a peace a run for its money, or even oust it in 2027?
Coalition. Coalition is a word. And if I look at the word coalition, it simply means people coming together to fight a common interest. Either people, individuals, political parties, and groups. And it's not unusual in politics. Coalition is not unusual in politics. It's something that is very common, especially in our Nigerian context. But how far the coalition will go is another question and another cup of tea. And I confidently know that in 2015 there was this coalition that brought APC into power. And such coalition can also bring another party into power. So as the coalition is garnering momentum, it's not really an individual thing. I hear people say this man is here, and because of that, no. Once the coalition is tight enough and strong enough to unseat the ruling party, it happens. It happens.
Do you think it can happen in 2027?
Why can't it happen if it is strong enough? It happened before. Didn't it happen? It unseated a sitting president.
No, looking at the dynamics, I mean, 2014 is different from 2027. I mean, you can't put them together. The dynamics are different because we had an Atiku who took, I had an Atiku and had a Saraki who took like 4 or 5 governors over to the APC. And then you also have the 4 political parties who came together and then formed a new one. So the dynamics are different. Do you see any governors shifting gears before the 2027 elections?
There is no difference in this apart from the fact that people came together happened. Likewise now, if people come together in coalition, as we've quoted it now, it can still happen. You know, there are too many things we don't consider. You know, if you talk about coalition of political parties, you talk about the personalities that are there. You talk about the number of parties that are coming together and the ideology they have. Although I don't see some of these parties as having ideology, I really don't. All the ideology is all about interest. If I join this group, I'll be able to get this and get that. So, if they're able to come together, I said it, and they are strong enough, why not? Why won't it happen? Why won't it happen? It will happen.
Okay, but with what you are seeing now, do you see the political parties coming together? Because
no, I don't see that. If you talk about the reality on ground, for now, maybe tomorrow, but at the moment, as I'm talking with you, I've not seen that strong force.
Why don't you see it?
Because it's not there.
You don't see an Atiku coming together with El Rufai, Peter Obi, Kwankwaso, you know, forming an alliance.
Even you that is asking this question, you know that it's not going to be possible to have that coalition of this number of people you're talking about. It's going to be something difficult because everybody is talking about his interest, his personal interests. Atiku is still interested in running. That's why I started with talking about ideology. Once they come and build up a strong ideology about the party, it's not all about what I feel and what I want. It's all about what we want to introduce that will stand the test of time. No party has it. That's why someone who won election in Labour Party, knowing fully well that people voted for him, even in that mega party, you still want a shift. I don't know. You're getting me. Even when you know that this party gave you this victory, why leave the party? There's no reason why somebody like me will leave my party in that stance, except like I told you now, I am in PDP. If my governor is in PDP, and he's doing well for Enugu people, at least that I can attest. Go to any nooks and go to all the nooks and crannies in Enugu, you see his presence. So if he's moving, I can say, because my governor is doing well, let me go with him. I go with him. You know, so it's just I don't know how to put it, but I know that once a coalition comes up and they are strong enough, anything can happen. But for now, I don't see any such coalition.
You know, just before the 2023 elections, a lot of people in the North didn't want to align with Peter Obi because he hasn't run an election before. The best he did was in 2019, and he was, you know, vice to Atiku. They were able to gather some 12 million votes at that time. But now things have changed because they now see his strengths going the whole hog alone, without a governor, without a rep member, without anything, nothing. He was able to muster at least a 6.1, even though so many people think that his numbers were suppressed, especially in Lagos and Rivers. Do you think that that advantage he has can play a huge role in making him a flag bearer for the coalition?
Peter is phenomenal. I can tell you that. He's a different species. Owing to what happened in the previous election, is somebody to watch. But the issue of bringing, I think Peter will also do much more better without a coalition.
Without a coalition?
Yes, my thinking. Is my thinking.
Why do you say so?
I'm going to tell you. The first, you said that everybody believes that Peter got Lagos. Is our belief. INEC didn't tell us that.
No, I mean, it's not.
I'm coming.
Okay.
INEC didn't tell us that. What we say is that Peter won Lagos, won Abuja, won this place. But INEC came with a different, which is the umpire body. But if we have that mindset, it means he played, it means there is something he did, and that somehow he was a strong factor in all those states I've mentioned now. Factor in the sense that he garnered enough votes, and more votes than people even expected him to garner. So if he could do that, sometimes I feel that all he needed to do is to remain consistent, just like he has been. And if that happens, I believe and I know that Peter Obi can still make a strong headway politically in Nigeria, and as it stands now. I agree with the fact that you said that people, the way people feel, the way people react, the way people are feeling about this present government. Yes, that is true. And for me, I think Peter has kept his head high. If you look at him now, there won't be anything to tag on him, even as he is up till now. Nobody could say he has done this, he has done that. This was what he did, and you come up with the claims and prove it. It's not, nobody has done that. So I believe strongly that Peter can even do better, as he has done before, if he continues in that light. A lot of people will tell you that Peter would have done better if he was in PDP or whatnot. Would the PDP allow him? Will other parties allow him? But like you said, that what don't I think that if they come together and that's a story for another day. I don't see it happening.
A story for another day.
I don't see it happening.
You know, the reason why they didn't allow him, I mean, like the coalition that wanted to happen in 2023,
yeah, between
him and Kwankwaso, you know, Kwankwaso was mounting this thing. I'm his senior. I have been a minister. I have more political clout. I've gone for an election. I can tell you my numbers. Mm-hmm. But Peter couldn't say that at that time, because truly he didn't have numbers. They were saying on social media, he's just a social media president, and nothing of that could happen. But now it's different. I mean, you have a bankable 6 million votes, at least according to the numbers. Now imagine he, you know, coalesces with at least somebody who's as popular as maybe a Kwankwaso or maybe somebody else in the north. Don't you think that, you know, that can happen? I mean, we're talking about a coalition. You are saying you cannot see anything that looks like a coalition would ever happen that would oust this particular government.
No, I didn't say I cannot. I'm not seeing it for now, as we were discussing. It could come after this discussion. I don't want to become a predator to predict, even though it's good to make the sort of predictions. But I want to keep myself on what I'm seeing at the moment. My answers were that I'm not seeing it for now. It might happen tomorrow. And the same thing. It's not only the issue of numbers that actually affected Peter during the last. It's also about this regional politics in this country. Do you get? And that has not given way. it will still play out. The North wants the power. The South wants the power. And I don't see parties. It's only, I can even say that PDP started well. But somehow, at the middle of the game, they changed the ideology of the party, which was power separation, moving power, shifting power to where it should be. At the time, because of personal interests, people started making way for all these things we are seeing now. So I believe there could be a coalition strong enough that could uproot the present government, but that's if they come together and believe in themselves and remove the sectional and regional politics, religious politics, and begin to play politics and political party with strong ideology. It will happen. Yes, it will happen. Why did Trump come back? That's the way I look at it. Why did he come back? Because people know him. He works with the ideology of the party, and a lot of American people agreed with that ideology. That America should stop spending money here and there, doing all sorts of things like the Democrats does. And then a lot of people in America were not so happy with this LGBTQ stuff, lesbianism and as the case may be, transgender and all whatnot. So you saw that the ideology of this party is different from that of this. It's almost like an opposite of the other one. So at any given point, at any given time, people look at those ideologies and look at the person that is in question. Is he going to do this? Yes, Trump at the first time he was in power, showed that he is still aligning with the ideology of the party. And everybody moved to him. Because Americans felt that's what they need at this point in time. And he came. He has not derailed from that ideology. He's still maintaining it. Look at what he's doing with all the allies and the rest. You find out the way he's trying to, all his programs is all about America. To build America and make it great again. Whether he succeeds in that, you and I cannot tell.
Interested.
Yeah.
Mazi Samgene, many thanks for your insights. It's been one interesting discussion this morning. I hope that I will get you back again, to talk more of this as we build up to the 2027 elections. We didn't touch on Enugu very, very well in terms of
we can touch on it.
What happened.
Because you know what will happen in Enugu. I'll tell you, I can predict that one. I can predict what will happen in Enugu. Fast.
Okay, we'll talk about that. All right. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you so much.
All right, Mazi Samgene has been speaking to us on political permutations for the 2027 elections and the defections that have been happening and most likely happen. I want to say a very big thank you for being part of the show this morning.